Dear parishioners, clergy, and friends, it is with a sad heart that I must speak to you again on the subject of sexual abuse of minors and a class action against our local church. Some time ago, the Archdiocese was informed by the legal counsel for some victims of sexual abuse that a class action lawsuit had been filed against the Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of Halifax and the Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of Yarmouth, involving the parishes of the Archdiocese of Halifax-Yarmouth. This action has been presented for certification by a judge and has been accepted to proceed. Experience has shown that every time the sexual abuse crisis has been highlighted, it has been hard to face. It should be hard to face, because such crimes and the devastation which sexual abuse has had on the victims cannot and must not be ignored or swept under the carpet. Transparency, accountability, and responsibility have become the expected norms in these recent years when facing sexual abuse in the church. The first concern that I have as Archbishop is the healing and reconciliation of the victims, acknowledging the unacceptable behavior by priests who were expected to be pastoral care providers, not pastoral care abusers, is the necessary step that will bring healing, liberation, and forgiveness. I wish also to remind everyone that the present lawsuit did not suddenly materialize out of nowhere. It is simply another but different legal process to resolve the consequences of this crisis. Since my tenure as Archbishop, we have faced numerous victims and resolved over 40 cases successfully, where victims were given the opportunity to not only be justly compensated, but offered the opportunity to be reconciled with the church. This was done through mediation. This time, a class action process will be followed. The class action which we face will no doubt bring forward some other persons who allege to have been abused by Catholic priests associated with the Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of Halifax and the Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of Yarmouth. Those allegations will be processed and dealt with according to the order, terms, and process which will be defined by the lawyers representing plaintiffs, defendants, and insurers of our corporations, and accepted by the court. Led by our desire to resolve any outstanding claims and guided by legal counsel, we have agreed to the certification of the class action. The class action will provide the opportunity for all remaining victims who wish to advance a legal claim for compensation and who have not previously settled their claims to eventually come forward through this process. Now that the class action has been certified by the court, it will be followed by a period of public notification of this class action in local papers, on Facebook, and in our parishes and websites, giving anyone who has been abused notification of the class action and the opportunity to opt out of participating without impact on their legal right to advance an individual legal action. The process for victims to come forward as a member of the class in order to seek compensation and other benefits has yet to be determined. council are working together to design a settlement process that is restorative in nature and will also include a fair level of validation. If agreement on a process cannot be reached, the class action litigation will proceed before a court-appointed judge. At this time, it is difficult for our legal counsel or myself to put a timeline on this legal action, since the process is not yet fully worked out. But I can say that it is a multifaceted process. It has involved preparation for certification and certification. Now, a period of notification will begin, followed by the definition of terms and procedures for potential resolution, and ultimately dealing with each case presented. Furthermore, it is not possible for me to say what this legal action will cost financially for the Yarmouth Corporation, the Halifax Corporation, and our church generally, or how it will impact each of our parishes. These issues and questions arising from them are some of the added challenges to our already demanding and difficult efforts in transitioning to new parishes. As we go forward with this class action, I wish to clearly state that our restructuring of parishes was not motivated by this class action lawsuit or the obligation to face the financial cost of this lawsuit. There is no avoiding the truth or the fact of sexual abuse, along with the moral and emotional effect which this has had on parishioners and priests who have been scandalized and hurt by this crisis. Some of you will again experience anger and disappointment. Others will not only question your faith, but may choose to no longer practice your faith. I can understand such responses, and as I have expressed elsewhere, enough is enough. However, sexual abuse will not just go away, and so I am counting on those committed to the challenge of the new evangelization and the renewal of our church to stand firm with the help of God as we face the demands which the gospel of Jesus Christ places on us and our future as a church. As an archdiocese, we have learned numerous lessons from our experience with this crisis, leading us to put in place a responsible ministry protocol. This protocol has been available for everyone to read on our website. It has been invoked and acted upon when necessary. Furthermore, this responsible ministry protocol has been presented in every parish with training sessions for our personnel, and we have required that everyone concerned, both clergy and laity, undergo mandatory police checks. All of these lessons and actions taken have been necessary, but they do not necessarily bring about healing and reconciliation if our hearts are not touched. Only the grace of God can do that. Until COVID-19 shut us down, the sexual abuse crisis was the biggest symptom of dysfunction affecting our universal church. Now we need reform, and we need to return to the spirit of our origins. This is especially evident these days if our church is to be renewed. If this change of heart and mind does not occur, then we are simply expending ourselves uselessly to preserve a crumbling ecclesiastical structure. There is no future in that. I pray with you and for you that God will provide us with the change of heart needed, with the courage and the conviction to overcome this other obstacle on our journey of faith. With God everything is possible. Thank you.